Hola everybody, Vince Bognot here. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. This video is going to be a quick overview on some of the new features found in iOS 5. So let's just get right on to the video. Alright, so here is the lock screen. If I double tap the home button, a new camera icon appears. If I tap that, the camera application launches. And now I can start taking photos of myself by tapping the button that we all know and love to take photos. But now I can also take photos by hitting the plus volume button. So let's do that right now. I just took a photo by pressing the plus volume button. I can also start video recordings by pressing the plus volume button. So here's my photo, and if I go to the Photos app, I can start making basic edits to my photo by hitting the edit button on the top right corner of the image I'm viewing. So I can rotate my photo. Whee, roller coaster! I can auto enhance my photo by tapping this button. I can remove red eye from my eyes, but I don't have that problem because I don't have any. And I can crop my photo by just pinching in and crop. So there's my photo. One thing I did notice is if I make edits to my photos, like cropping, and if I save it, it'll replace the original photo. It won't give you the option to save as a new photo. But to solve this, you can go to your photo stream and save the photo that you edited, the original photo that you edited. So if I go back to my camera roll, here is the original, and here is the edited. You might be saying, whoa, 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 Vince, you're going too fast. What is the photo stream? Well, the photo stream is a part of iCloud. If you take a picture on one device, it pushes it to your photo stream. And so, to demonstrate this, let's go to my iPad. Woohoo! Alright, let's go to my photos. Let's go to my photo stream. Here is the photo I just took seconds ago. So, if you take a picture on one device, it pushes it to all of your other devices. If I had an iPad 2, and if I took a picture with my iPad 2, it would push it to my photo stream, and I could view that picture that I took with my iPad 2 on my iPhone 4 by going to Photo Stream. Woohoo! But I have an iPad 1, so that will never happen. Alright, so that's Photo Stream. And I mentioned iCloud. You might be saying, Vince, you mentioned iCloud. What is iCloud? Well, basically, iCloud is a service that keeps all of your devices in sync by pushing data that you downloaded on one phone to your other devices. So, for example, if you download a song from the iTunes store on your iPhone, it will push that song to your iPad. It will push that song to your iTunes on your PC, like the PC that's behind my iPad. And it will just push it to all of your devices that are linked with your iTunes account. Same with apps. If you download an app on your iPhone, let's do a quick example. Let's download an app from the top 25 section. Let's download a free app. Let's download Find My Friends. I haven't downloaded Find My Friends yet. This is going to be my first time. It will prompt me for my password. Let's type that in. It will start downloading Find My Friends. Find My Friends is downloaded. Now if we give the iPad a few minutes, it will automatically download Find My Friends as well. But let's go on to a different topic while we're waiting. So, iCloud. It keeps every device that you own in sync, whether it be your apps, music, you name it. It also keeps your mail, contacts, and calendar in sync if you sign up for a free.me email address. I, however, am not signing up for a free.me email address because I already have Gmail, and Gmail automatically pushes my mail, contacts, and calendar to all my iDevices because I set up Gmail as an Exchange account, and I'm going to be making a video on that soon, so stay tuned. But if you want to go the simple way, the Apple way, just sign up for a free.me email address, and it will keep your mail, contacts, and calendar in sync. What does that mean? Well, let's say you receive an email on your iPhone. If you read that email, it will mark that email as read on your other devices. If you add a contact, it will add that contact to your other devices. If you make an edit to a contact, it will make edits to your contacts on your other devices. So iCloud is basically keeping everything in sync. And iCloud also includes Find My iPhone. So if you lose your iPhone, you just go to iCloud.com, sign in with your Apple ID, hit Find My iPhone, and then it will pinpoint where your iPhone is. And when you install iOS 5, it will prompt you to set up Find My iPhone, and I recommend you do so. So, that's iCloud for you. Oh, but wait, let's check to see if Find My Friends got downloaded on my iPad. What do you know? There it is. There's Find My Friends on my iPad. I originally downloaded it on my iPhone, and it downloaded on my iPad. Alright, so that's iCloud for you. I hope you understood how iCloud works. If not, you can go to apple.com/iCloud to read more information. Alright, so now let's talk about iMessages. If you notice, on your iPad and iPod Touch after updating to iOS 5, you now have a Messages app. On your iPhone, you always had the Messages app. But now, with your iPhone, you can send iMessages to people who own iPads and iPod Touches. So basically, this is like the FaceTime of text messaging. So I can enter in my friend's email who owns an iPad. Let's say that this is Bob's iPad. Alright, so Bob configured his messages, his iMessage settings, by receiving the iMessages through his email address. In this case, vince@vinceboggnot.com. Why is Bob using vince@vinceboggnot.com? I don't know. But he configured the settings under messages. He hit receive at, and then he entered vince@vinceboggnot.com, and now he's able to receive messages through vince@vinceboggnot.com. So if I type vince@vinceboggnot.com here, vince@vinceboggnot.com, there you go. Vince@vinceboggnot.com is under the contact Vince Bognot. I don't know why when it I don't know. Okay, this scenario is not working out. Okay, so I'm just going to send a iMessage to vince@vinceboggnot.com. I'm going to say hi. And you know that this is an iMessage because it says new iMessage and the send button is blue. So I'm going to send that message. And Bob, in the scenario, or technically me, received the iMessage that I sent him. And I said hi. And I can reply back, boo. Alright. I see here my keyboard is crazy. It's split into two, but I'll get to that in a second. So I can send my iMessage. And I received the message I just sent from my iPad, or from Bob's iPad, if you're still following the confusing scenario. Alright, so that's iMessage. Now let's send a regular text message to a person who doesn't own an iDevice or an iPhone. So 555-555-5555. So that's my buddy Rick's number. As you see here, the send button is green, indicating that you're going to send a regular SMS message, and it says new message instead of new iMessage as you saw before. So you're sending a regular SMS message. Alright, iMessage doesn't count against your text plan, so that's the beauty of iMessage. So if you're texting between an iPhone to an iPhone, you won't get charged anything. But since most people have unlimited data, unlimited texting plans, that doesn't really matter, does it? Alright, so that's iMessage. And again, or not again, I haven't explained this yet, my iPad can send iMessages to iPhones by using the iPhone number, since the iPhone number is associated with the iDevice, which is the iPhone. So I can send any iPhone, as long as they're running iOS 5, a iMessage by just inserting the number in the to field, and it should work since their number is associated with an iPhone. But with the iPad and iPod Touch, you cannot send a regular SMS to a feature phone or to another phone or to a BlackBerry. It only works with iDevices. Remember that. Only with iDevices. So that's iMessage for you in a nutshell. Let's go on to notifications. iOS 5 has a new notification center. If you remember back when you had iOS 4 below, the notification center sucked because there was no notification. It just popped up notification. That's all. That's all it did. But with the new iOS 5, you have a notification center. It displays all your notifications here. And I don't have any notifications yet. But with the iPhone notification center, you have your weather displayed here in your stocks, and with the iPad you don't. So slide down, no new notifications. You can access notifications from any app, so if you're in the iTunes store, you can access your notifications. Just slide down. If you're on a game like, let's say, Cut the Rope, you can access your notification center by just swiping down, or down that way, since it's in portrait. And yeah, you can just access your notification center with any app open. So that's notification center. Okay, now let's talk about the iPod app. Well, we can't talk about the iPod app because Apple removed it. They removed the iPod app and they added the Music and Videos app. The Music and Videos app was always on the iPod Touch, but on the iPhone and iPad, it always had an iPod app, and they decided to separate this. I don't know why, but they did. So now you have a music icon and a videos icon. You don't have the iPod icon anymore. But I solved this on my iPod, or my iPad, by creating an iPod folder. Yeah, so that's the iPod app split into two. Alright, so the next new thing I'm going to be talking to you about is reminders. Basically, you can set reminders for yourself. just press the plus button and you can say like, say hi to teacher. Done. Okay, and then you can have your iPhone alert you by reminding you on a specific day and time, or, here's the cool part, when you're at a specific location. Yes, since your iPhone has GPS, reminders can do that for you. So let's say you're heading out to school. Once you leave the area around your house, it'll alert you to say hi to your teacher. Or it'll alert you when you're at a location. So let's say when you arrive in the area within your school, it'll alert you saying say hi to teacher when you're around the school. So that's awesome. You can just pinpoint the location of where you want to be reminded at, or where you want to be reminded when you leave a specific area. So that's pretty cool. That's reminders for you. And now you have Newsstand as well. Newsstand is a new little, it's not an app, it's a folder type thing. Since you can't put this in a folder, so it acts as a folder. It acts as a folder with your magazines and newspapers. So basically, if you're subscribed to any magazines or newspapers, it'll show up here. I'm not, and so it'll automatically update. I'm not too sure about this feature since I haven't researched it much, because I'm not planning on going to subscribe to any magazines and newspapers. So Newsstand basically displays your magazine and newspapers, and you can read them from your device. Same here with your iPad. You can here's your Newsstand, and you can view your magazines and newspapers. Alright? Alright, so that's Newsstand. Alright, now let's talk about Safari. Safari, let me go to the settings real quick. You can now browse in Safari using a private browsing mode. So if you're a naughty boy, you can go to settings, go to Safari, under private browsing, tap on. Go to Safari, and it will switch to a black user interface. There you go, you saw it. And that indicates that you are surfing privately. And you can disable private browsing by just toggling off, and I can go back to Safari. It will revert back to the gray user interface. And it just crashed on me. Woohoo. So that's something. It just crashed on me again. Okay, now it's not crashing. Okay, cool. Now with Safari on the iPad, there's the keyboard again. I'll explain the keyboard to you in a second. Now, okay, with Safari on the iPad, you now have tabbed browsing. Before, you had to open each page in a separate page. So I can open up vincebognot.com, and I can open up a new tab, and while that's loading, I can open up cnet.com. And I can switch instantaneously between the tabs like a regular browser. On the iPhone, they didn't make the switch because the iPhone's screen is small, so they kept the page layout, so you can open Windows in a new page. You don't have tabs on your iPhone since, again, the screen is fairly small. So there you go. And I can also add things to my reading list. So if I can go to, I can. Let's say I go to macrumors.com and click on a little blog post. It's loading. Just wait patiently. Patience is key. So there's the blog post. I can add that blog post to my reading list so I can read that post later. And let's just pretend that 20 minutes passed by. Okay, it's later. Now I can go to my reading list tab by going to my bookmarks, going to reading list, and then opening that up. And if you can see that right there, it's a little gray button. It says reader. I can tap this, and wait, before I tap that button, as you see here, the page has ads, and basically the blog post that I just want to read is this little section. I don't want to see these ads, I don't want to see the comments. So basically what Reader does, it reformats the page so it only displays the important things. It's smart like that. So if I click Reader, there you go. There's the important things that I want to read. So that is pretty cool. And you can toggle the font size so you can make it bigger or smaller. So that's pretty cool. So you have tabs on the iPad, private browsing on both the iPhone and iPad, and Reader. And when I say iPhone, I also mean iPod Touch as well. Alright? Next thing I want to talk about is Twitter integration. Now let's say I want to share a photo. Back then, when I had iOS 4, I would have to open up the Twitter app and choose the photo and then press post. But now with iOS 5, since the iDevices have Twitter integration, I can just choose a photo. I like this photo. hit on the option button at the top right and hit tweet. Tweet. Tweet, tweet. And then, oh, before I tweet, let me show you the keyboard. This is the perfect time to show you the keyboard. I can split my keyboard by holding down that bottom right key and hitting split. Or I can just separate them like this. Isn't that awesome? So now I can use my thumbs to actually type, because most people do that. If you want to dock it again, to make it a regular keyboard, just hold down the bottom right key with the keyboard icon and hit dock and merge. And also you can undock your keyboard and you can move your keyboard anywhere. So that's awesome. So that's the new keyboard for you, new iPad feature. Alright, so let's tweet out test, send, and you know you successfully posted a tweet when you hear that sound, weeboo! Alright, so I successfully posted that tweet and it attached that picture along with that tweet. Alright, so that is Twitter integration on your iDevice. It works with the iPhone as well. I've been spending too much time on the iPad. Let's go on the iPhone and let's talk about, oh, well, I don't need the iPhone because now this is the time or the part of the video where I just talk. Alright, so the iPad and iPhone is now iPad, iPhone, iPod Touch, your iDevices technically. All iDevices now with iOS 5 are now PC free. That means you don't have to connect to a computer to initially set up your iPad. That is awesome. Alright, and the last thing I want to show you is Wi-Fi sync. Wi-Fi sync is amazing. You want to know why? Because you don't need a cord or a cable to sync with your iPad or iPhone through iTunes. Isn't that awesome? So, as you see, oh wait, I'm just moving my monitor. Wait. Don't fall. Okay, it did. Alright. So here's my iPad and iPhone. They're not connected by any wires. See? This is where I would connect a wire and this is where I would connect a wire. Alright. See that? It says iPad and iPhone. If I want to sync, all I have to do now is hit sync. And I know my iPad is wirelessly syncing when I see the arrows rotating. So let's wait for those arrows. It's happening in real time, folks. There we go. There are the arrows. That indicates that my iPad is syncing with my computer. And the most amazing part to this is syncing is no longer a process in which you can't use your iDevice while a device is syncing. So basically, back in iOS 4, if a device was syncing, it would say sync in progress, slide to cancel, and that's it. You would have to wait for the sync to end before using your iPad again, before you can use your iPad. Here, with the iPad, iPod Touch, and iPhone, syncing is now a background process. Syncing is now a background process whether you're syncing wirelessly or syncing with a cable. So that's just awesome, isn't it? So that's Wi-Fi syncing. Why would you need to sync wirelessly through iTunes when you have iCloud, where if you download an app on your iPhone, it will automatically download on your iPad? Well, let's just say you want to, let's say, I don't know. Anybody got an answer to that? I really don't know. I'm pretty stumped. I really am. So if you got an explanation for me, tell me right now. Alright, so it's still a cool feature though, Wi-Fi sync. It's still syncing as you see here by the little arrow spinning. And yeah, that's just about it. That's a quick overview about of iOS 5. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you love iOS 5. Thank you very much for tuning into this video and have a good day.